Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing my November wrap up. Today is actually Thanksgiving and happy Thanksgiving to everyone and happy beginning of the holidays. I'm pretty excited for this Christmas, but yeah, we're not here to talk about that. I read 3 books on the month of November. Could have done better, but university kind of kicked my butt this month, so we are just gonna review the 3 books that I read during the month. Of course, there is about 3 or 4 days left of the month. 3, right? 3, yeah. I don't think that I'm gonna be able to finish any other books, so I figured that if I do end up finishing something, that I will leave it to the next December wrap-up. So also, I want to say that I'm really proud of myself because I actually managed to finish and accomplish my Goodreads goal. So let's round of applause, please. I have never finished my Goodreads goal. Last year I had 35 books, didn't manage to finish that. This year I had 50 books and I managed to finish it, and I'm glad that I did. This year has been very reading heavy because I have been trying to do a lot more reading, not only for this channel but also for myself, and I think that it's been a year that has really defined my reading taste. So of course I'm gonna do a video at the end of the year to kind of reflect on the books that I read and give you guys some statistics about what I read and what I'm planning to do for the next year. So be on the lookout for that. But today we're going to be discussing those 3 books that I read in November. The first one being The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. This book just basically follows various characters in the middle of Francisco Franco's dictatorship. So we not only do we follow people who have been living in this dictatorship for their entire lives, but we also follow outsiders. So we get to see this perspective of both and how they both see in completely different way the way that people live in Spain. So I found this book to be extremely educational. I did not know many of the things that occurred during Francisco Franco's dictatorship. In the end, I have to say that I'm a bit disappointed with the plot and with the story and the characters, because I didn't find myself engaged with the characters. I think that this book wanted a bigger emotional response from me than what I actually got. I don't know how to explain this without going into spoilers, so yeah, I guess that's the only way that I can actually describe it. I didn't also really connect with the characters. I enjoyed them to a degree, but I found myself kind of not wanting to pick up this book because I was just, I don't know, not interested. I think that what I want to get to is, and this will sound really bad, if these characters had died or something horrible had happened to them, I wouldn't have felt for them. Yeah. However, I do really think that, like I said previously, that this book is really educational. So I learned, I'm gonna remove the dust jacket so it's easier for me, but this book has tiny sections of historical or transcripts of people that lived during the Francisco Franco dictatorship, and it also has pictures. So as you can see, there are various pictures here, and I don't know, I just enjoy these details because I'm a huge history nerd and I like learning about things that happened and stuff like that. So yeah, for instance, we have kind of these type of pages where you get a small transcript of actual real events and things that people said. and stuff like that, and I loved it. Another thing that I really enjoyed is how this book treats mystery and tension. I think that throughout the story, as things get revealed and as our main character, or one of our main characters, Daniel, he is from Texas. He's coming in as a photojournalist, so he is always trying to seek truth, and when he begins to investigate throughout the story, you're kind of scared to a degree for him, which kind of contradicts what I said earlier. But I found myself kind of a bit anxious or tense, because as given the nature of the dictatorship and what is going on in Spain, as Daniel speaks with other people and people from Spain, you're kind of hesitant and you're kind of like just wondering if these people are actually trustworthy or not. So I do like that. I do like that how Ruta Sabatís reveals things throughout the story. I just think that the fault comes down to the characters, because I really wasn't invested in them. The next book that I picked up was The Hobbit. The Hobbit was one of the books that I mentioned in my fall-winter TBR, and this was one of the books included, and I finally got around to it. I'm trying to now in December kind of finish all of the books that I mentioned in that list so that I can bring a good wrap up for you guys. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I tried to read it about a year ago, and I found it very intimidating because a friend of mine kind of lent me a bind up of all of the works, and I found it extremely just overwhelming. But I read it on this edition, loved it a lot more, and I listened to the audiobook. I think that one of the things that I do to kind of help me get through classics and heavy or very kind of dense books or audiobooks. So I really do recommend the audiobook. I will list the narrator somewhere around, and the narrator really made a difference for me. So what this book basically follows is Bilbo. He is a hobbit, as the title kind of refers to, and one day he lives a very nice life. He enjoys his life. He's very respected in his community, and then a wizard named Gandalf comes to his house and tells him that he has to go on an adventure with, I believe, 13 other or 12 dwarves. So we basically get to follow these characters as they go on an adventure to kind of reclaim their gold that was basically taken away years ago on a war between them and someone else. I think it's the dragon. So yeah, it was really good. I think that the word that comes to mind when I was reading this is nostalgic, because I felt like a kid reading this adventure story, and I was having so much fun reading it, and just also the audiobook made a huge difference, because the narrator really gave each character their voice, and it was just so fun to listen to, and the things that occur on this story is just great. And again, the only thing that I can describe it as is an adventure story. It doesn't feel like it will continue or the like. It's just great, and I love it so much, and it's really one of my favorite reads of the month. Can't wait to listen to The Lord of the Rings, because people say that The Lord of the Rings is better. However, there is not a single woman in this book, and I was kind of doing my research because I wanted to know why, and I don't remember why it was, but yeah, it was great and I really enjoyed it. And the only fault that I find with it is that there were no women and barely even mentioned. I think that there's only one mention of the story, and it's about Bilbo's mother, who is dead. So it's only a mention at the beginning of the story. And I feel like it has to be somehow intentional, because I can't phantom that it was unintentional. I just want to know why. So yeah, maybe I'll do a video about it in the future and discuss it with you guys, especially as I kind of read the rest of the series. But yeah, something to look out for in the story. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It was really fun, and I can't wait to see the movies. The last book that I read this month that I finished actually yesterday was The Paper and Hearts Society by Lucy Powery. I love this book so much, and there's a lot of things that I didn't expect to like it, because first of all, it's middle grade, and I always feel like middle grade just it makes me cringe in some aspects, especially when it comes to contemporary middle grade. It makes me cringe the same way as maybe thinking about me in my high school or middle school years was. So it's not like a bad thing, it's just cringing in that sense. But this book didn't feel that way at all. I really loved, just again, I think that what makes the story just so great is the characters. So even though I had some faults with it, the characters were so good that I can just, I don't know, not pay mind to the things that I really didn't enjoy about the story, because the characters just, I love them so much that I can read anything as long as they're in it. Anything. So this story follows Tabby. She has moved in to a new town. She's very new to everything, and she goes to the library kind of hoping to get entertainment or a book to read, and she finds a poster about a new book club that is being organized in the city. So Tabby decides to go, and she finds out or meets these new friends, and it's just their adventures and their bookish things, and I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I want to just say I guess trigger warning for bullying. I will also put the trigger warnings for these books in the comments below. But one of the things or a big aspect of this book is bullying and how it affects our main character. So here's the thing. I feel like it's very difficult to talk about that particular aspect of the book, because I have never been a victim of bullying, and I don't really know if these situations occur the way they do. However, when I was reading about the entire Jess thing, Jess felt very stereotypical mean girl, and I kind of like to see what's behind all of this. So when you have a story that just goes very deep into the characters, like this book did, and goes into their backstory and what makes them them, I was kind of taking out of the story every time that we had this Jess character, because we didn't know anything about her, and we didn't know what motivated her to act this way, which is why every time I read about her, I felt like it just didn't feel realistic, which is, I'm putting out there that I have not been a victim of bullying, so I don't know if things occur this way. So yeah, if someone has any idea of or knows what I'm talking about, be sure to comment or message me and we can discuss it. But yeah, that's one of the aspects that I didn't really enjoy. And another was that I don't really like the trope or the plot device of withholding information. So by this I mean that a character decides not to communicate or tell someone else something, and that drives the story. I don't really like that plot device, and this was also used in the story. So yeah, that's an aspect that I didn't really enjoy, but the characters made up for it, and I loved it, and I can't wait to read the sequel. I feel like this book is every book lover's dream because it just talks about every single thing that we book lovers love, and I just wish that I had friends like Tabby. And can we just talk about Ed and how Ed is just so wholesome and so great, and he's like the best friend that we all want in our lives. So yeah, loved it, and I really congratulate Lucy Powery because she did an amazing job, and I can't wait to read the sequel. So yeah, those are the 3 books that I read in November, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys with the next video. Bye.